In this episode, our nomination for the best sister in Australia. How far do you push your luck on reserve? And a quiz. Do you know the CBR better than its owner?
Right, g'day. Welcome to Best Bikes in SA, where we try and find the best bikes in South Australia. A lot of the stuff I've looked at in the past has been a bit on the older side. Today we're going a bit on the newer side with a 2012 CBR1000RR. Not my kind of bike. I like stuff that's newer. We've got James here to tell me all about it because I'm sure he loves his baby.
So this is my 2012 CBR1000RR. I ended up buying this 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, because I had some personal tragedy. So my sister actually bought me this bike as a bit of a way to sort of uplift my spirits.
You don't hear many stories of sisters buying.
No.
Maybe something sort of slow and cumbersome, not something fast.
Yeah. No, because she's a petrol head herself.
Okay.
And at the time I was looking at like a slightly newer Ducati, and I was looking at BMW S1000RRs, but I just didn't feel comfortable, or I just didn't really enjoy the electronics on these bikes. Years ago I had a 06 CBR1000, and I wasn't riding for a couple of years, and then I was looking at newer bikes, but then when I saw this bike come up for sale, as soon as I jumped on it, it was like the muscle memory of the old 06 model just sort of came flooding back, and as soon as I sat on it, I thought, nah, this feels like home.
Oh yes. Oh yeah, that's the stuff.
In the reviews of these of the time, they were criticised a little bit for being behind the eight ball, because all the other manufacturers had gone heavy with the traction control and ride modes and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
But they did say at the same time that the end product was still just a good thing to ride.
Yeah.
So you bought her in the same state as this, or
none
of the extras you put on there?
No. The previous guy who owned it did all the aftermarket parts on it, so with a quick shift and the exhaust.
Boring things, books, paperwork, service history. Most people don't have that, but as far as criteria for being the best in the state, sometimes that sort of makes...
So I'm very finicky when it comes to my bikes. So I've got two bikes, and I've got folders for each with all the receipts, all the paperwork. I'm that sort of nerdy guy.
Yeah, an accountant.
Yeah, well, sort of.
So you've taken it to a track?
I haven't taken this one to a track. Or no, I lie. I took it to the Bend to do the bikes and breakfast thing.
Yeah.
Have I done a track day on this particular bike? No.
Yep. Okay, so if you haven't watched any of my videos, this is where I insert the asterisks. At the track, what's the top speed you've done on there? What's the fastest you've done on a track?
Just shy of 268. Yeah.
Okay, that's more than respectable.
Yeah. But it was definitely in a controlled environment.
Yeah. That's not the first thing people think about with a sports bike. What sort of mileage do you get out of a tank, though?
So I get, pretty much on the dot, I get 220 kilometres before the fuel light comes on. So So yeah, no, because I ride the same roads. It's Basket Range Road, Gorge Road.
Very familiar
You
with
know, the sort of riding's very consistent.
Yeah, yep.
So if I'm unlucky enough to have to sit on the highway, I probably get 250 before the fuel light comes on.
Yep.
But
How brave are you with a fuel light? There's two types of people in the world: those that have to refuel as soon as that light's on, and others who see how fast they can get.
So I'm the type of person, as soon as the light comes on, I've got to find a fuel station.
Okay.
The anxiety kills me. Because even though they're relatively light bikes, I'll be buggered if I'm going to push it for miles to the service station. So yeah.
Right, so James, each episode we do a quiz to find out how much people know about their bikes. This is actually take two after the first one failed, thanks to my own dummy. So I've hit him with the Men in Black little memory eraser.
Sorry.
And we're gonna try again. So
Have you been trained in CBR?
he mentioned when we were taking the photos that the rim stickers are a bit tatty on it. He obviously takes pride in his bike and was a bit ashamed of those. If you were to buy new ones, genuine parts through Honda, would the red or the white ones cost you more?
So I would think that the white ones would have cost more, because I think that they would sell less if they're not, the same price, which I assume that they're not if you ask them the question.
And I find it bizarre that they're not the same price.
And so I would think that they would sell more of the red, so they'd be cheaper. But now I'm thinking about it, if they're going to sell more, they might bump up the price to get more of a profit. So to really be honest with you, I don't know.
You have to wait till the episode comes out to see. Talking earlier as well about the electronics on this, that this is electronically a bit more simple than a lot of the new ones. How many fuses does it have?
So last time I was saying I don't know, but I believe that there's 6 to 8 fuses in there, but off the top of my head I can't actually remember.
And I'm surprised that you even know that much about it. Most people got no idea. Honda are obviously famous for being red. Lots of variations on the red colours over the years. What does Honda call this particular shade of red?
So, because this is the take 2 of the questions, I sort of Googled the answer.
Oh, you did?
I don't know, but I'm just going to really take a stab in the dark here and think like Le Mans red, or something racing, racing red, something like that. Yeah.
Now, do you know the contents of your toolkit?
Yes. For the most part, yes. Yeah.
Which was?
So I've got the rear shock adjuster. I've got the rear axle nut ring spanner. I've got the handle for that. I've got a 8mm spanner, a 10mm spanner, and a 12mm spanner, and I've got a Leatherman for if I need to access the fuses, which I never have had to yet, but I've also got a Leatherman in my toolkit.
And much like the fuse question, I'm surprised that you know with such detail. Now, Tadeo Barber was credited as being the main designer behind the first original Fireblade. Do you know who's credited for designing this model?
This is where I will have to bow out, because no, I don't know the answer, and I don't want to, I suppose, dishonour the person who has designed this motorbike and try and butcher his name or just take a real random guess. So no, I don't know.
And I find it funny culturally how it's not promoted anymore. Like Tambrini, Ducati, Barber, original Fireblade.
Yeah.
They're the only two I can think of off the top of my head. But since then, there's really been no one that's sort of been put, and I don't know if it's because computers are so involved rather than one particular person.
Yeah, and I was just about to say that. I think mainly because it's gone away from like a drawing board to a CAD design. Obviously, when you talk about Formula One, everyone knows Adrian Newey, who designs Formula One cars, because he still does it old school by pen and paper.
This is where I slowly nod and agree, even though I've got no idea about Formula One cars.
But who knows who designs any other Formula One cars, because they're it's all done by a committee on a computer. So I think that's probably the reason why.
Yeah. Well, there was one person as the lead designer, so you have to wait and see.
1 out of 5. It could be worse, you know.
So the Fireblade, she's in really good nick for her age. It's not a vintage bike or a modern classic like some of the others we featured, but 14 years have passed pretty quickly in my books, but with this thing you really wouldn't know, so bless you.
Excuse me.
I think it's fair to say it's the best in SA.